Hi, I'm Mark from Maine Clinic Supply, and just a little background on myself. I've been with the company for well over 14 years. I've been trained in by multiple different oxygen providers to diagnose and repair their concentrators, and I have thousands of devices underneath my belt of what I've repaired and are back to our customers. And we've always kind of been interested in seeing these concentrators that you see on like eBay and Amazon that you can buy without a prescription. So today we're going to be digging into this machine a little bit more just to see what it actually does, and we'll be working through this together here with this unboxing. All right, so first thing, without opening the box, is sometimes a red flag just because we know that they're made out of a little bit cheaper parts. We can see here that it says made in China. The majority of the concentrators that we see that are FDA approved here in the US are physically made here in the US. So we'll see how well this is built. All right, so that's just the outer packaging. All right, so this one is specifically called the Veyron, as you can see here. So first thing I try to look for is any sort of certificates or anything like that, that it's been gone through rigorous testing here in the US. Right here, I don't see anything. Let's see. I see it has a CE certificate. And looks like that is it. So just a CE certificate. We'd like to see these probably through at least 3 or 4 different certificates of conformity for here in the US. That helps let us know that we're getting you a good product. All right, so here is the Varon. Look, it's shrink wrapped. Looks like that's where the battery goes. Let's see. So just got your typical warning: no smoking, oxygen in use, keep away from fire. Let's see. This device is not intended to be used as a life-supporting device. Do not use non-brand authorized battery packs and accessories. Let's see if I can see anything else on here. So it looks like this was recently produced, looks like just a couple months ago. Let's see. That's where you put our oxygen tubing, power button, all that good stuff. So that's the concentrator. Let's see. Looks like this must be the carry bag. It's kind of made of some different material, kind of like a rubbery plastic material. It's like the DC power cord. Here's our manual. And an AC power adapter. It's kind of interesting, it comes with a remote. What's this? Silicone nasal cannula. I've never seen one like that before. We'll open that one up here in a little bit. And it looks like that's the straps for the carry bag. And then kind of our typical AC power supply. Looks like this runs on 25.4 volts. Let's see, here's the battery. And things with batteries we look for, we want them to be underneath 100 watt hours for aircraft. And this one is at 114. So this technically you would not be able to fly with because they want batteries to be underneath 100 watt hours. So that's one thing to look at as well when you're buying portable concentrators. That is a big thing that you can get stopped for. when you're going through the airport. So you would not be able to technically fly with this device just because of that. So here, let's go ahead and open up the packaging here for the concentrator. And we'll see if this battery has any charge in it right away. Nope, I'll have to charge it up here. Let's see, there's the AC cord. We'll get this plugged in here and get it turned on. And we're going to use this Salter Labs oxygen analyzer. So this is what we use here when we're testing our devices in repairs to make sure that they're getting the proper oxygen before we ship them back to our customers. So we're going to see how much oxygen this thing actually puts out too. All right, so we got our, looks like our plug-in right there for the AC power supply. And just a reminder, we want to plug the AC power supply into the wall before we plug anything into the actual concentrators. That just ensures that the power supply, whether it's in the car or in your home, has proper to prevent anything from happening. And that's across any devices, just to make sure. All right, so this says press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to turn on or turn off. So let's go.
Oxygen.
Interesting. Just talk to us. Our initial kind of things I'm hearing, the fan is very loud, which is kind of interesting. So I'm kind of hearing a discharge every like 3 or 4 seconds. With most of the concentrators that we see, they do cycle. You'll hear a discharge of nitrogen about every like 8 to 10 seconds typically. This is happening pretty quick, so I'm kind of interested to see what is going on inside of it. So right now, we're seeing O2 concentration at 90%, and this is on a setting of 1. So I'm gonna give it a minute here to kind of warm up, let it get up to proper oxygen percentage. Typically, like even with a lot of our other devices, usually it takes a couple minutes for it to get up to kind of its peak percentage. So we'll see what it's giving to us. And remember, this is on setting 1. This is the lowest that we can have the machine on. Let's see. All right, on setting 1, we're right around 91, 92%. So that is where we like to be across all the settings. Whether it's like our Inogens, like row of 6, that goes up to a setting of 6. We should be able to see this percentage all the way up on the settings as well. So let's increase the setting. So this is interesting. I increased it 1 setting to setting 2, and it's now saying 52%. So this is no longer medical grade after increasing it 1 setting. And of course you can see too, we're at about 51%. So this is accurate as to what the machine's actually telling us as well. So the Veyron on setting 1 did give us about 91, 92%, which is medical grade. And once it drops below 87%, that's no longer medical grade oxygen. So this I don't even know if this would be helping you at any point. So this is saying 52, I'm seeing about 50, 51. Let's increase it again. So on 3, it's saying 39%. And it's actually pretty accurate again. So we're sitting about 38, 39%, and that's setting 3. Let's see how high this goes. And keep in mind, our ambient oxygen without anything is about 20, 21%. So now we're at about, this is saying 35, we're about 33, 34. So this is barely doing anything on setting 4. Setting 5 is saying 30. So this is 6, and it's giving us 28. Let's see if it's accurate. Yeah, about 27. Yep, so this is a 1 to 6 device. So on a setting of 1, you actually can get medical grade oxygen on this. Anything above a setting of 1, this is not going to be giving you medical grade oxygen. So I would not be trusting this device anything above that setting of 1. So let's go ahead and power it off now. It's very interesting that it talks to us. All right, so now that we've kind of powered it on and everything like that, I'm actually going to break inside this thing and see what everything is inside it, and kind of give you guys an overview of what I think compared to a lot of the other devices that we deal with. All right, now that we know kind of what it actually outputs for oxygen, I'm just kind of interested in seeing what the quality of the parts are inside. So I'm going to attempt to disassemble this device so we can see kind of the insides of the device. Couple quick notes. First thing I'm kind of seeing for disassembly, looks like it's just a standard Phillips head. A lot of times with these devices, I see tamper-proof bits and stuff like that, which is the best thing to use. But we'll start taking this apart. All right, so you're gonna see me going through and removing a bunch of the screws, and a lot of times they like to hide some underneath some of the stickers, or underneath some of the padding for the bottom. And again, I'm trained in a lot of these devices, but this is the first time disassembling this one, so a lot of it is going to be discovery and kind of looking around, trying to find hidden screws. And being that we have taken apart so many different devices, some of these you can really tell aren't necessarily meant to be taken apart and repaired and put back together. A lot of them, like this one, they seem to me more of the type that if something goes wrong, it just gets thrown away, just because of how it's put together and the different types of screws and everything that are made and the quality of the parts. All right, so we have it broken open here, and I think I found a first in any of these concentrators that I've opened up. We literally have duct tape holding things down here. We have duct tape here, and we have duct tape on the bottom side of the user interface panel here. So that already is throwing up a lot of big red flags. I've never seen duct tape inside a machine like this before, and it's not in just 1 or 2 spots, it's all over. You can see it right there as well. Let's see, other thing I just saw too is, so this is the compressor assembly of the device. So this is what actually pushes the air through everything, pushes it through the columns in order to generate oxygen. Our compressor has a rust on it already too. So this just tells me already that this is going to be a compressor that's not going to be able to last you very long. It's not made of very high quality materials like a lot of the ones that I see with like Inogen, Drive, Care. They all make really nice compressors. They all tend to last quite some time. But right away, there's lots of red flags opening this device. Just seeing the compressor, how it's built, and then again, seeing the duct tape in here. These are pretty small sieve tubes for the concentrator. I feel like if it's giving out 6, they should be a little bit bigger than that. I'm also kind of hesitant on how these are designed. They slide out pretty easily. So I would worry about if you ever drop the device, these would potentially just pop right out and would stop working. Let's see, kind of looks like a tubing bundle here that's going to, looks like the fan. Let's see, there's some sort of valve there. All right, so as I start putting this Veyron back together, just a couple thoughts in the construction of the device is everything inside seems very cheap compared to the other devices that we fix, and the compressor and the surface rust that's on it is very concerning right away before even having this machine on for an hour. That's going to be something that's going to be causing the bearings and everything inside to wear down so much faster than if it were to be made out of a little bit better, higher quality material. And again, this kind of goes back to the fact it only has that CE mark, which is not necessarily even required in the US, but it's at least one thing that manufacturers include. The biggest thing is there's no FDA certification, UL certification, that's for electrical safety, IEC, that's for the electromagnetic compatibility, FCC, which is the electronic emissions. Also, there's a ISO, which is a performance standard, or FAA compliance. So if you're buying this for travel and use in the airline, you're not going to be able to take it with you, which is the other thing to be very, very cautious of. So it's just going to limit your travel. And everything that we carry and sell to our customers absolutely is a must to have FAA compliance, because we don't want somebody to be limited in their travel when they're purchasing one of these devices. All right, so we got it all back together now, back where we started. And again, just kind of big things to be cautious of. Number one, again, you can get oxygen that's medical grade on a setting of 1, but anything above that is going to be something that's going to be way below what medical grade is. So setting 2, I believe, was 52% again. That is one of the big things to be very wary of. And then as far as the internal build goes on the device, very low quality build of products. There's duct tape. That's the first time I've ever seen anything with duct tape on the inside of a medical device. And then also the compressor is already rusty, just letting us know that it's not a very high quality compressor that's used in here. So those are the big red flags with this device. Again, there's not many quality checks that they use typically on devices in the US as well. No prescriptions needed, so just be very cautious with using this device. Lots of stuff has been very, very surprising with this. So hopefully this has been a very informative video for you guys, and hopefully it helps you make a better decision on picking out your portable oxygen concentrators.